I feel like torches are getting a bit crazy and some companies just focus on ridiculous turbo modes, which I personally find useless because all of them down throttle after 30 seconds or 1 minute at best because laws of physics, too much heat in a small body. Okay, maybe there's some tactical value, but for my needs and from an EDC perspective, I currently just ignore the turbo modes and sometimes the high lumen output numbers, and I just focus on the medium, low and moonlight modes since I know those will last as advertised because no overheating should occur. Yes, common sense dictates that the more powerful the torch, the higher the rest of the modes as well, but that's up to a point because I feel like it's up to the manufacturer to make a balanced product. Let's take my review sample of the day, a Wurkkos TS22, which is powered by a 21700 cell. This thing is ridiculous, rated up to 4500 lumens, which slots in perfectly in the previously mentioned category of crazy turbo numbers. So looking at its specs from a personal view, I love that I can get in eco mode 11 days on non-stop runtime at 10 lumens, which is perfect for a small room, and 500 lumens at medium, which will come in handy for around 4.5 hours if I'm on a night trail, for example. Besides the output, my checklist must contain Type-C charging. I'm looking at Autolock with its custom magnetic cable, hot swappable non-custom cells, looking at Night Core and Autolock again, and the ability to reverse charge your gadgets. If you think about it, especially with a larger cell like the 21700 at 5000 mAh, you have two items in one, a power bank and a potent torch. Luckily, the TS22 ticks all of those three boxes so far. Now let's get into the next level of details. A magnetic tail cap is useful if you plan to use it around the shop, for example. Then a battery indicator of any sort is highly welcomed, which it has. Depending on how the LED behaves, you will know roughly the percentage. After turning it on, constant green equals above 30%. Constant red, it's under 30, while flashing red means it's bone dry. The LED also has another function which can act as a tiny moonlight by itself, and if it stays on while the torch is off, this signals that the Autolock feature is disabled. Yes, and we arrived at the title of the video. How many features do you expect from a torch? Basically, this one has a split personality. It can be set to operate as a regular interface where one click turns it on to the last used setting and then hold to cycle through the modes. Turbo is a double click while on, while Eco mode is a long press from off. Then if you want to access its other personality, which is ramping mode, from off you need to quickly press 4 times to activate it and the torch will flash quickly twice to signal this. Here a single press turns it on, and then while holding the button down it will basically ramp through the brightness levels. You can choose the direction of the ramp and it will flash at both ends. This is where for me it gets a bit too much because you really need to memorize all of its behaviors. So this is why I'm using it in the first personality. Finally, it possesses an auto-lock function where after 3 minutes of not being used it will disable the button and you need to double press it to bring it back to life. This is handy to prevent unnecessarily turning it on in your backpack by mistake, but this also disables the eco mode from off. To disable the auto lock permanently, you need to quickly press it 5 times from off, then the LED will always stay on to signal that the auto block is disabled. But this might drain the battery faster. Still with me? I will leave all of these on screen if you want the general idea. So yeah, make sure you either write down a cheat sheet for it and keep it with you or just set it when you first get it like I did, because in an emergency, if you forget how to even open it, then it's useless. Right, after all that lecture, let's see the modes in action. So here is it in the first personality, cycling through the modes, in eco mode at 10 lumens. Low for 100 lumens, medium at 500, and 1800 lumens for the high. Finally, the turbo mode is at 4500 lumens. What else? The light is quite warm, around 5000 Kelvin, which I like. Sometimes I use it as a night lamp in my secondary bedroom just for fun. This is the latest variant with the XHP70.3 HI90 CRI emitter. The knurling might be a bit too aggressive, but overall it feels really good in your hands. Here is it next to a Sofern SC32, which by the way are the OEM for the Wurkkos flashlights, and my Rovivon A8 keychain light. So yeah, for me it ticks all of my requirements first and foremost as a torch, and ultimately it's up to you if you prefer the standard interface or the ramping one, since it offers both. Just make sure you are aware how the auto lock behaves, since that feature alone might make you throw it or enjoy the flashlight.